I think anything a mind can conceive, if you think about it often enough, you will come to believe it. I question my own beliefs. Whatever we can conceive and believe, we will achieve. You want to have a goal that's worth failing for. Don't ask, are you worthy of the goal? Ask, is the goal worthy of you? You're trading your life for it. So we should always be going for bigger goals. And we don't go for bigger goals to get. We go for bigger goals to grow. You and I have more potential than we will ever understand. We've got phenomenal powers. You've got to be persistent. Those who can't take it simply don't make the grade. Those who can take it are bountifully rewarded for their persistence. They receive whatever goal they're pursuing. You'll start to realize there is literally no end to what you're capable of doing. Ideas are intangible forces, but they have more power than the physical brains that gave birth to them. They have the power to live on long after the brain has created them has turned to dust. You've got to believe it in your heart, because until you internalize the idea, it isn't going to happen. The imagination enables you to go into the future and bring the future into the present. You've got to act like the person you want to become. Well, when we do that and do it over and over, you come to believe. I think we've got an obligation to do great work. We're only here for a short time, not a long time. And we've got the faculties and the ability to do great work. I think we should. As you're watching this, I want you to stop and ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? If we begin to study and we start to understand who we are and what we are, we will build an image of ourselves that'll make us so much more effective. If a person's going to accomplish anything of any consequence in their life, they have to get into the spirit of it. And we build an image in our mind. Then we have to be true to that image. Now, this is truly getting into the spirit of the thing. That is what being inspired is all about. And all great work came about because someone was inspired to do it. All the great paintings, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, all of them, they were inspired to do the great work. We have to understand that whatever Rembrandt or Van Gogh used, we have available to us. You see, an idea is a thought or a collection of thoughts directed towards a purpose. Thinking is the highest function that you and I are capable of. If you take what you want and start to imagine yourself with it, we can actually accomplish anything. You've got to believe you can do it on a subconscious level. You can come to believe it through repetition. And all the great leaders, all down through history, have been in complete and unanimous agreement on that one point, that you and I become what we think about. There's always a better way. To let it go. I had a good friend of mine, Milt Campbell. He won the gold medal in decathlon. Milt told me, there was a lot of athletes in schools that were better than me, but they quit. Well, our paradigms get us to quit things. Your paradigm is your conditioned behavior. We're conditioned genetically and environmentally. And that conditioning is controlling most people's lives. That's why brilliant people are broke. Brilliant people are unhappy. Brilliant people never really accomplish very much. They're absolutely brilliant, but their paradigm is controlling them. It's all about intellect. You see so many brilliant people and they don't make it. We only have one problem in the whole world, and that's ignorance. They're living in ignorance. They don't know that what they're doing is going to keep them where they are. And they keep doing it because they don't know how to change. They have to understand that they don't have to live that way. Everyone that can hear my voice knows how to do better than they're doing. And they may wonder, why don't they do it? It's because you're programmed to do what you're doing. And until you change the program, nothing's going to change. There's no limit to what we can do. You change your perception, you change your life. An ideal is an idea that you have fallen in love with. It's our responsibility to decide what we're going to do with it. We can actually accomplish anything.
So if you want order with money, it starts here. Relationship starts here. Your business starts here. It all starts in your mind.
Because when you start doing anything, I don't care if it's maybe a weight loss program or it's building a business, doesn't matter what it is, you're going to run into a brick wall and everything in you is going to want to quit. That's what the paradigm does to you. You've got to be persistent. 4 simple steps which lead to the habit of persistence. Number 1, a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. Number 2, a definite plan expressed in continuous action. Number 3, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, including negative suggestions of relatives, friends, and acquaintances. And number 4, a friendly alliance who will encourage one to follow through with both plan and purpose. These 4 steps are essential for success in all walks of life.
You're either going to grow or you're going to die. You'll know there's never any limits that we ourselves don't impose.
When you're getting ready in the morning, when you're exercising, or when you just need a little boost, download Mindset and listen to your favorite motivational speeches while getting ready for the day.
We go through life thinking, that's not it. That's not it at all. There is something in all of us, a hole, a need for connection and love and truth and a sense of something beautiful beyond. And we can, if you're religious, you call it heaven, and if you're a humanist, you call it a full and achieved life. But you know that there's a hope for it. But if you mislabel it and think that it's connected with money or cars or mortgages or jobs or status, you're never happy because of your status, because of things you've achieved. Happiness comes from somewhere else.
My entire life, I was willing to disrupt my entire life to buy my future, to buy my possibility, to give my dream a chance. See, we're not supposed to tuck our dreams in on the pillow when we get up in the morning. We're not supposed to leave them at home and go and fulfill somebody else's dream. We're not supposed to do that. That's not what we're wired to do. That's not who we are. Your human spirit simply says, what's our command for tomorrow? What do you want to create?
As you go into the next chapter, don't pursue profits, pursue purpose. Don't pursue the profits of where can you gain things in life. Pursue your passions and your purpose. Because what happens is, a lot of times we go on to college or we go into the next chapter and we're only seeking gains. We're only trying to find out what we can get. Where can we find profits in our lives? You need to take time to figure out your why.
You got to start talking to yourself. The best way to motivate you is you got to start talking to yourself. Repeat these words after me. No one can stop me but me. No one can stop me but me. Here's the truth. No one can stop you but you. You need to talk to yourself. You need to encourage yourself. You need to strengthen yourself. Stop waiting for other people. Stop waiting for other people. And you start encouraging you and saying to yourself, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. I'm down right now, but I'm not out. My condition is temporary. Only I can make it permanent. I'm not worried about you being down. I've been down myself. I'm not worried about you being down. You've been down before. We all been down. It's nothing new. But that out is what I worry about. Out means you gave up. Out means you lost hope. It's okay to be down, my friend. It happens to all of us, but it's not okay to be out. Don't you ever give yourself permission to be out. You may be down, but you're never out.
The right perspective makes the impossible possible. You cannot change the past, but you can always change your perspective. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. The severity of your problems is a matter of perspective. Change your perspective, and most of them become insignificant. Some of them will no longer exist as problems, but opportunities.
Your soul, your intuition, your human spirit is designed to make you soar.
I promise you, if some of you will just begin to take ownership of your life, and some of you probably are already striving and doing phenomenal and making good choices, I want to say keep going. Don't give up. Keep pursuing it, because I promise you, every single one of you were meant to leave your fingerprints on history.
You gotta see this thing differently. Stop complaining about the divorce. Stop complaining about the job loss. Stop complaining about the relocation. Your viewpoint is your advantage.
Your condition is temporary. Only you will make it permanent. You will love again. You will thrive again. You will smile again if you give yourself permission. You will win again if you give yourself permission. You will breathe again if you give yourself permission. You will hope again if you give yourself permission. You will dream again if you only give yourself permission.
Your conviction, what you're passionate about, your conviction and your convenience don't live on the same block. So if you want to have a conviction for something, you have to sign up to be inconvenienced. We're trying to find convictions and passion and breakthrough on the inside of our box. But when you realize that the box doesn't even exist, like someone made up, oh, you're playing outside the box. So we all bought into, there's a box. Well, I don't even own a box. And so when you start thinking like that, Tom, all of a sudden, everything is possible.
You can show me your friends and I can tell you who you are. Who you surround yourself with is going to affect you. Like it, love it, or leave it. If you're surrounding yourself with people who are not about the right and who aren't trying to pursue dreams and goals and the same aspirations and the same motivations and dedications and determinations as you, you will be affected. Who you surround yourself with matters. It's the compromise that I care about. We don't ever have to compromise ourselves. I promise you, from the front, the back, the left to the right, every single one of you in here, man, you were born to leave your fingerprints on history. You can achieve and become absolutely anything. I mean, teachers and doctors and actors and athletes and entertainers and musicians and radiologists and cardiologists and cosmetologists, social workers. I'm telling you, anything that you want. And not a teacher, a counselor, a principal. Nobody can stop you. I know your circumstances aren't the best. I know sometimes our home environment's not the best. But this is what I know. We're in control of our lives and nobody can take it from you.
Everybody wants next level. Everybody wants wealth and influence. But listen to me, you will never experience any of this showing up in your next season with the same viewpoint. If you keep seeing it the way you have seen it, you will never become it.
Get up right now and get your body moving. Get up right now and go for a walk and look at the birds and the trees and the dirt and the grass and the moon and the sun. Life keeps moving. Life keeps happening. Only you stood still, and that's how you get down. We need some activity. Activity will get you to the top, and activity will get you to the bottom. What kind of activity are you working on? What kind of harvest are you prepared for?
Everything that I need to get back up, I have in me. If I don't have what I need, I can go get it. Once I figured that out, the world was my playground. The question was just, where do I go get it? I don't know about that. Where do I go get it?
Hard work and tenacity and refusing to quit and chasing your dream, and you'll get there, I promise you. Maybe you don't hit the stars, but you land on the moon. You just don't give up and you go after it, and you stop caring about the opinions of people around you. Stop blaming everybody from your hurts. Take ownership of your life. Take off your mask. Don't feed the bear. Make good choices. Be a best friend. Encourage somebody. Be a voice of hope and inspiration. This is your moment.
Why is the truth so important?
You have to have the truth to have a starting point. And your true self is found in that very uncomfortable zone. We all look for toughness. We all want it. But we look for it in a comfortable environment. You will not find toughness in a comfortable environment. Those of you who are listening to this, you will not find it. The only way you find it is to drown yourself in a position where you're just out of sorts, where you can't swim and you're drowning. Where you're drowning. And you say, you know what, man? Dad. Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point. It's in our head saying, you know what, man? Dude, you're not doing shit. You're wasting a bunch of percentage here. In this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt, darkness, and then a whole bunch of light. But to get to this light, you gotta go through all of this shit. You're not succeeding, you're not achieving. It's because you're afraid to go in that dark place to find yourself. You're setting goals you know you can reach. And when you do that, that fear, that insecurity, that doubt, that's where you grow. You must always set goals that you think you cannot achieve. And in there you get better. When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, the amount of mental pain, of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough? And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to. So if you really want it, you realize what trying is and what trying is not. Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that shit we have nowadays, your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life shit. You can't Google that shit, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You gotta control it. If not, it's over. So, all I knew back then was hard work. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember what the fuck's in this paragraph to pass this test to get in the military. Read it again. Still not getting it. Read it again. But if not getting it, write it out. And that's how I started learning. I realized if I keep going back and going back and going back until the shit just becomes, your mind will say, fuck, okay, we're gonna figure it out.
It'll find a way.
Because he is not going to stop. It's not like, I'm gonna try one more time. No, alarm clock goes off, boop, we're going back. I can't read right, we're going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. They said, okay, we're gonna adapt and overcome now. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You put yourself, you immerse yourself wherever it is, and you become that. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I watched this segment on TV about these guys going through Navy SEAL training. And I couldn't even, I wasn't a great swimmer. I was afraid of the water, all this crap, man. I saw these guys just quitting. But at the very end, it says 22 guys. There's commanding officers up there, and he gives this great speech. So I started visualizing me being the 23rd guy, sitting there with these guys. I said, man, if I could feel that, that would change my life.
And what was that feeling you wanted so bad? Respect? Accomplishment?
No, victory. I wanted to win. Not like beat somebody else. It wasn't about that. I just wanted to go the distance. Everything in my life, when something got hard, I quit. I had to work harder than you, so I quit. Like, man, if I could just go that distance, that extra mile, to just go, just to finish. I want to finish. I want to feel victory. And victory for me wasn't winning, it was just finishing. So I said, you know what? If I could feel like these guys feel, it would change my life. And literally, I started feeling victory just by putting myself in the battle. I started realizing, man, just by going to war with myself every day and putting these challenges and these goals and these obstacles, these insurmountable obstacles, now we can move from there. If you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still here. And I'm fighting, and I'm gonna find a way to get through this because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. And no one really finds themselves without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. Being accountable every fucking day for doing right for yourself, for the people next to you, it's miserable. The more I did this, the more I gained confidence. And then the more I gained confidence, the more I realized, fuck these Navy SEALs, man. These guys can't do what I'm doing right now. I had no coach, had no trainer, had no money. I didn't know how to lose weight. I had no knowledge of what I was doing. I was just working. I was just sacrificing. But I would have never found these tools if I didn't put myself in a very uncomfortable place. And your true self is found in that very uncomfortable zone. That's where he came from. He came from all these fucked up obstacles, and now he's there. So everybody goes, how do you do that? You know exactly how to do that.
The warrior that is angry is at war with himself. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world.
You are calm, but alert. Relaxed, but ready. Smooth, but sharp.
humble but confident. Forget your sadness, your anger, grudges, and hatred. Let them pass like smoke caught in a breeze. Do not indulge yourself in such feelings. You must look beyond the wound to win the fight. Where you are hurting, where you are bleeding, where you are crawling, keep going. Be relentless. We must win mentally before we see whatever the improbable feat may come in your mind. I've already won. Be committed. Be fully persuaded to peace, for without which you will never fulfill your purpose. With everything that you think, and every word that you speak, and every move that you make, let peace and harmony be your portion. You must decide in this moment to execute like you never have. Execute in the face of adversity. Execute in the presence of doubt and fear. Execute. Get the job done. After you have spoken, take action. For if you remain still, you open the door to an idle mind. You must dispense with the notion that conversation will change your life. It is only strategy, plan, and execution that alters the very fabric of our existence. Focus on infinite purpose. You've got to learn to utilize the space between you and your opponent. Always observe your opponent very carefully. Watch them, study them, examine their movements. You need to use the first sentence of every encounter to evaluate the length of their play. You will win the war without when you win the war within. When you have won the war with yourself, you will win the war with every opponent. It's what you do behind the scenes. It's the work you put in, the sacrifices made when no one is looking, when the world is sleeping and you are serving. It is only then, at that moment, you will find deeper fulfillment. It's what we do when no one is with us that uncovers the true mastery of the ninja. The first priority to the ninja is to win without fighting. The limitations of a man's soul is tested before his work ethic is seen. How you start is how you will finish, with nothing in your hand and no one in your corner, but a dream in your heart. Start with what you have. We have to have the courage, the poise, and the resiliency to begin. Do not wait to be understood. Do not wait to be supported. Do not wait to be liked, loved, and shared. Start from zero. To start from zero is an aggressive invitation into self-confidence. We must start with ourselves. If we start from zero, there is no end to the number of techniques that will emerge. There is a way to win. In every facet of life, in the room of negotiation, in the world of action, there is a way to win. There are techniques to be executed, but nothing can be done unless we first believe. We must start with ourselves. Much of life moves at the speed of the connections we make and the questions we ask. We must remain hungry for true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You must throw away your bad habits to get good. Your life is on the line, your future. So practice well. With your feet, and the hands will follow. You are not just fighting one opponent. You are fighting the unknown. You are stepping into uncharted territories, and you must endure to the end. What wakes you up in the morning and gets you going? Why is it that you want what you want? Why are you doing what you are doing? Every thought has an origin. Find your origin. We must understand the foundation of every action, that it all starts with a feeling and a thought. The true art of the ninja is to know one's limitations, boundaries, strengths, and weaknesses. The beauty and the brilliance of the ninja lifestyle is one of self-awareness. Breathe in. Breathe. Breathe life into the weapon. Don't take life away from it. Keep walking, because walking is life. Those who desire only technique will never understand the art. It's everything beyond that. Where are you? How did you get there? Where were you? And where are you going? Self-awareness is the key to the future and the way of the ninja. Do not fear death and never stray away from the way.
Pain is inevitable. Pain is unavoidable. We can't live without pain.
How much pain can you endure?
Are you willing to use your pain?
Sometimes pain can be your friend, and sometimes pain can be your enemy.
There will always be pain. There will always be betrayal. There will always be somebody that doubts you, somebody that overlooks you, somebody that underpays you, somebody that undervalues you, somebody that talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk, somebody that's with you but not for you. We're always gonna experience pain.
You just got to understand how to use pain to your advantage.
You've been through too much to retreat. Don't run from the discomfort. Lean into it, feel it, and remind yourself that it is only temporary.
Pain can lift you up even when you're feeling down. Pain will remind you that you are still alive. Pain will push you beyond your threshold. pain is just doing its job.
So use it, because it's always going to be there. There will always be a measure of pain in your life.
In order for things to change, you've got to be willing to get up and do something. You don't have to be perfect, but you've got to make a move. Pain is an indicator light that lets you know that you need to take action on something.
See, we're talking about the game. We're talking about growing. We're talking about suffering so that you can go further.
The choice is yours. Use the pain to your advantage.
Pain doesn't mean you're finished. Your pain is trying to get you to get up.
See, there's the physical pain. There's the mental pain. In fact, there's even the spiritual pain.
It could be a painful day emotionally. It could be a painful day relationally. It could be a painful day financially. Are you going to complain, or are you going to use it to your advantage?
Your pain is calling you to a higher level of thinking and a higher level of performing.
We have to come to a conclusion and know you got to hurt so you can grow.
It hurts when we hit in the gym. It hurts when we lifting these weights and we're trying to accomplish a goal. It hurts. It's painful. It's daunting. It's cumbersome. I don't want to do it. I'm sweating. I'm bleeding. I'm crying. I'm suffering. But after I've suffered, there is a reward.
For those that are fighting and battling with mental stress, let me remind you, if it did not make you, it can never break you. You got to know how to rise above it. You got to know how to endure. You got to know how to fight forward. And that pain, there's never a day off. Maybe this pain wasn't my enemy. Maybe this pain was building me up, even through the hardship.
So instead of a temporary fix, I'm challenging you to use your pain as fuel so that you can begin to design the life you want. You see, you can't build muscle without discomfort. You can't build a business without experiencing challenges, rejection. You can't get a strong and fit body by just laying around and eating whatever you want to eat. No, in order to get there, you have to experience the pain of discipline.
Imagine if you could use pain as a fuel. Imagine if you could use the pain as a passport. Imagine if you could use the pain to push you, to condition you, to prepare you for the stages and the rooms you got to walk into and the tables you got to sit at and the stages you have to stand on. What if the pain could make you better? What if the pain could build muscle? What if the pain could cause you to reach higher, to leap farther, to run faster? What if the pain could help you? What if all pain isn't hurt, but it's help?
I'm going to use the lessons I've learned to my advantage.
Let pain serve its purpose.
Use the pain.
You're not supposed to go through life without a struggle. You're not supposed to go through life without some kind of a setback. Throughout the course of your life, you will build on it. And you will grow from it.
If you really want to grow, you've got to be willing to admit when you are the issue. There were times when I was ready to give up, but I pushed through the pain and I made it. And that means that you can make it too. Just like you made it through your last storm, you're gonna make it through this one. Dry those tears and get back to work. Dry those tears and get back to your mission.
When pain shows up at your door, when people try to inject it, inflict it, use it to your advantage. I'm not complaining because life got heavier. I'm celebrating because I'm getting stronger. Let's go! Use the pain!
Your time is not up yet. Your time is right now. Your time is at this moment. And through the pain, you must rise up again.
But as long as I can feel it, I'm not in a state of paralysis. If you can feel it, you can move it. I know you're tired. I know you're weary. All the blood, all the sweat, all of the suffering. I know you want to quit right now, but this is not the time to let go.
What are you going to do with your pain?
Keep going. Use it to your advantage.
How dare you give up on your dreams? This is your life. Without failures or challenges, there could be no success. Whatever you are working towards, you are going to get there. You have your life to live. You have to breathe that life. I beg you, I am pleading with you. When the rest of the world shuts you down, you got to be the one to stand up, shout out, cry out, stand tall, work hard, dig deep, and go after it. You're gonna have to fall back a few times, but you gotta keep going forward. But my life isn't over yet. Never back down. Never give up. I promise you, as long as you're breathing, as long as you're living, you will get there. You have to find a way. You must find a way to get back up. You will not quit. With all of the circumstances you've been through in your life, through everything that has put you down on the ground, let it be known you do not have to stay down. I know what it feels like. But I got tired of laying on my back. So I looked up to the heavens and I opened up my eyes and I kept repeating to myself, if I can look up, I can get up. So now you got to rise up and push forward and go after it. Failure only comes when we don't get back up, but you can always make the choice to get up. Live every moment knowing you will have no regrets. Because where you're headed, you're going to want to keep on living, ready to fail again and again. You gotta get a little bit tough. So what do? You don't keep sliding down. You find a way to get up and climb up. That's what I had to do. That's what you must do. You must know. You gotta know that you're gonna get there. I need to constantly remind myself over and over again, I am not yet where I want to be, but I know I'll get there. I'm not where I want to be, but I am so grateful I am not where I used to be. You may feel at times that you're not where you want to be. I am here, ladies and gentlemen, to cheer you on, to let you know that you, my friends, are going to get there. You are going to complete that marathon and you are going to run for your life. You are going to get that promotion. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, work like hell. Crack the ground and keep moving. Understand what it means to be alive. We are not just running for the glory of the race. We're not just running just to tell someone we did it. We do it every single day of our lives because we are powerful. We are strong. We can definitely get through the hard time. I got to go through my problems. I got to go through my circumstances. I've been through them. I'm going through them right now. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to every living human being that is listening to me today. Look at my face. Look into my eyes. Hear my voice and know that it's not over for you. You know that good things don't come easy, but you are ready to embrace the hardship. This is my life. You are stronger now than ever before. The time that you have right now is to make a difference. Make it possible. Through the good and the bad, make it possible. Do better. Be better. Keep moving. Never quit. Don't give up. Don't back down. Find a solution to your circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. Continue to understand that you have a purpose. Know that your purpose matters, but it's ultimately up to you to get there. Life has taught you many things, but without its guidance, you would not be standing here. You are seeking victory. You are seeking strength. You are seeking greatness. This moment is your life. Every day, I wake up and think of my ideal life. I have so many goals that I want to accomplish. I have so much that I want to do. I have a vision of my life. Life is not easy. We all go through hard times, and it's hard getting through this, but we do not need to stay in the hard times. It's time to make a change. I'm ready. I'm ready to wake up each morning knowing that every day is a new adventure. So today, you start ready to change the world. Your gifts, your inventions, your passion, ready for a new beginning. You cannot change your past, but you can definitely learn from it. Don't let your dreams become a nightmare. This is when things can go wrong because you waited too long. You hesitated. You procrastinated. You let all of these things just slip past you. You were afraid you were going to fail. This, my friend, is your opportunity. This, my friend, is your chance. The chance of a lifetime. Don't waste it. Don't put it behind you. Put it directly in front of you and attack. And do it with a full heart. You're not dead. You are breathing. You are alive. You're alive and you're breathing. You're alive and you're walking. You're alive and you're running. If your lungs are working, keep going. But don't you dare give up. Don't you quit. You hurt, you grow, you go. And from the bottom of my heart, keep it moving and conduct your business.
Judge a person not by what they accomplish, but what they had to overcome for their accomplishment. People that are hungry have zero excuses for not pursuing their dreams. And they come back again and again and again. They operate like Willie Jolly, who said that a setback is a setup for a comeback. I've got a saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You can get up, get up, get up. I'm training people to get into their greatness, to begin to develop the courage to pursue dreams beyond their comfort zones. Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. When you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are, so you act like you don't have any. There's never a shortage of opportunities. It's just a shortage of thinking. Because some things are taught and some things are caught. When I was in the 5th grade, they put me back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade. I failed again in the 8th grade. I have no college training. So being identified and labeled as DT, the dumb twin, it gave me a lot of things to overcome. And so there was no one to dispute what was said about me, and I bought it. Even if you are told a lie, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. You hear it often enough, it becomes your reality. Perception, not challenge, becomes real for you. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. So if you can track failure, you can also track success. You have greatness in you. I don't know you, but here's what I know based upon my own experience. You have greatness in you, that you have the ability to do more than you could ever begin to imagine. You have greatness in you. There's a presence in each and every one of us that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only God you will ever have or hear. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. When you recognize your greatness, no one will ever pull your strings. You are different. You were created on purpose with a purpose to manifest that purpose through you. You will never exercise authority and dominion over your life until you exercise authority and dominion over what you are not. Most people go through life living the lie that has been told about them. There's something in you that's greater than your circumstances. There's something in you that's greater than the adversities that you're facing. In life, you're either in a problem, just left one, or headed toward one. You have greatness in you. When you're pursuing your greatness, you live from a place of the willingness to live life courageously, to be willing to take chances, to become a risk taker, to make impact, to go beyond believing to knowing, to lean not unto your own understanding, to feel within yourself there's some cause, there's something that's bigger than me, but I'm never alone in facing this. There's a presence that will never leave me nor forsake me. And that when you step into that place, more of thee, less of me, that there's a place where we can go within ourselves. There are things that we can accomplish, things that we can do, that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is in the heart of mankind what God has in store for us. When we surrender life to me, when you're pursuing your greatness, you find something that you love, that you surrender to that something gives you life, and that you turn yourself over to that and allow yourself to be used by life. That, to me, is what greatness is. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer and I was pondering about my life, am I going to beat this? And I was reading his words for comfort, and he said, the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. But imagine being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those gifts, and there they are looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you. Only you could have given us life, and now we must die with you forever. And the question is, If you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what gifts will die with you? As I face inevitable death, what in the meaning and purpose of my life that will not be undone or destroyed when I'm gone? My goal now, we learn, we earn, we pass it on. We should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. I think it's important that people find something that gives their life a sense of meaning and value that drives them, that becomes their magnificent obsession. Because we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential, we go to our graves never knowing who we really are.
How do we develop a sense of belief? What I'm hearing you say is belief is one of the most important things we can have
It
in
is
ourselves.
major. It's an ongoing process. I encourage people to read at a minimum of 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day to program your mind, and all of us can do that. We can go to the library and check out books. When I think about Og Mandino, who wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, he was on the verge of committing suicide, went to the library, read the book Think and Grow Rich, and his life turned around. Your mindset, your diet, and positive relationships, giving yourself a healing, nurturing environment strengthens your immune system and allows you to stay here longer and do your great work. So you have to program yourself or your mind will be programmed. In order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. You've got to become a risk taker. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? When you find something that you love, you will study it. Something that you love that becomes not just confident, but you will become competent on that. I pour myself into it. I lose myself into it because it's not about me, it's about the audience. Ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong, and don't stop until you get it. I tell people, you're going to face tough times, but I affirm no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. So live a life of contribution. Decide that you are going to live your life in such a way, as Horace said, you should be ashamed to die until you made some major contribution to humankind. And I want to find other people who have that kind of magnificent obsession, who have that kind of conviction about their lives, who want to make that kind of mark on their lives. Can I, with the time that I have left, amplify and train and multiply voices of hope and create a better world? We'll have enough time to do that. And we all have an expiration date. So live your life from a place of love.
You have to understand, if you don't execute on the plan, if you don't get up in the morning when you're feeling tired, scared, if you don't execute, you're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating your family. You're cheating your employees. You're cheating your team. Whatever you're a part of, it's bigger than you, man.
Hard work works, y'all. See, some of you have dreams and goals, but hard work, you can't get around it. I wish there was a magic wand that I could wave, that your passion, your dream, that thing you want to achieve, it could just happen, but it can't. Hard work is required.
What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them. You gotta outgrind them. You gotta get up earlier. You gotta stay up later. You gotta execute, and you gotta go from 7 to 120.
I think a lot of people feel this enormous pressure to achieve this millionaire, billionaire status somewhere in your 20s, 30s, 40s. It is very difficult. It is for very few and far between. I hope everybody understands, if you put in 18 hours a day, every day of your life, and you suck shit, you lost. You know why I'm sitting here right now? Because I outworked you. Zoom in, I outworked you.
Before I ever stood on a stage, I cleaned one at an old Baptist church. When everybody left, I stayed vacuuming when nobody was there. That's how I got the microphone. I didn't get a microphone because I can talk the best. I didn't get a microphone because I can sing the best. I got a microphone because serving kept elevating me everywhere of my life.
So we all think that if we pray on it, if we do this, if we do that, whatever, we don't work, we just, whatever, it's gonna magically happen for us. No, I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. Gotta keep putting in the work every day. One is better than zero. Gotta keep putting in the work, putting in the work, putting in the work. The hard work matters, and the patience is what overrides it.
You gotta work. What happens if you wake up 30 days later and you there? What happens if you wake up 60 days later and the change is coming? You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna wake up 60 days later, 90 days later, and everything's gonna change but you. And you're gonna get the same results you got before it happened because you're the exact same person. So work while you wait. You cannot stop.
We all have greatness. It just, you gotta find the courage. You gotta find the courage to put your Bose headphones on and silence the noise out of this world and to find it. And to find it because it's out there, but it's gonna take hard work, courage, self-discipline. It's gonna take all the non-cognitive skills. All the non-cognitive skills to be great. You know, smart is good, all this stuff is good, that's all cognitive. It's the non-cognitive skills that set you apart from everybody else. And that's what it's all about.
Now, I don't know what your goal is, but I want you to visualize it right now and repeat after me with power and conviction. Let us say together, it's possible. Together, please. Say it again, please. See, that's the first step. I want you to think about this goal that you want. I want you to envision it and see it in your mind's eye. And every day, say to yourself that it's possible. See, most people are not accumulating wealth. Most people are living in poverty. Most people are living far below their potential, not because they don't have the capacity, not because they have not been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, but most people are living like they're living because of the fact that they don't believe they can have any more than what they now have.
Listen to me very clearly. Every A is not an A. I don't care how much you can jump on Google and get the answer and get your report card or your grade sheet or your teachers or your school to think that you're getting the A. If you're cutting corners, if you're taking shortcuts, every A is not an A. You're not robbing anybody else but you.
So I need you to work while you wait. I need you to work on your focus, perspective. I need you to see difficult differently. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? I need you to see it differently.
You know, 5 steps to greatness. No, it ain't that, brother. You read my book, this is hard work. It's every day.
There's so many people who want to lead that can't follow. I'm saying this because everybody wants to get to the top. If you're trying to get on top, I need you to work the level you're on right now. Can you clean bathrooms? Can you sing for the kids? Maybe singing for the kids might be the thing that gets the whole world knowing your name. But because you think it's small and insignificant, you won't even do it. Just keep working. If you were told you were gonna get that promotion, just keep working. If you were told you were gonna win that championship, just keep working. Nobody said it would be easy. Again, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So I need you to work on your faith. I need you to work on your faith. I need you to wake up every day and say, today ain't the day, but my day coming. And I will not give up, and I will not give in until I get to that day. I will not stop. I will not give up. I will not give in until my day comes. You have enough right now to flip this world upside down.
You have enough. You got enough power. You got enough anointing. You got enough grace. You got enough patience. You got enough gifting to make your money, get out of debt, get yourself together, and change everything about your world.
For the things that I'm wanting and believing, I just have to do everything possible that's within my power. And there's some things that aren't within my power, and that's where I trust God. But what isn't within my power, it's whether it's getting the proper sleep, whether it's learning your lines, whether it's researching the character, whether it's working out or eating healthy, or whatever it is that you need that's gonna make you better at what you wanna do. It's doing every single bit of that you can possibly do, and going above, not just doing just enough to get by, but going above. And then after that, it's like, if it's supposed to happen, it will happen. And chances are, if you do the work, it likely will happen.
It's about whatever you think you are, you have to make that dream a reality. But that's where the hard part is making that dream reality. That's where the hard work comes. That's where people know, how do you keep grinding every day? You have to make those insecurities, those fears. Like when I was 300 pounds, I didn't have any drive. I'm gonna go be a Navy SEAL. What kind of stupid is that, 300 pounds? There wasn't like a drive to go be a Navy SEAL. I was an insecure, lying kid, afraid. I had to look at my insecurities and in my fear and find drive in that. We're all looking for passion. Passion's all around you. You have a whole stack of it all around you. It's your insecurities. It's all in there. All the energy and fuel you need is right in yourself. It's all there. You got a lot of stuff to do to overcome. And that's where I found it. I found it right there in my own insecurities. I found drive in my own insecurities. And that's the most powerful thing in the world. When you can find drive in your own doubt, fear, insecurities, you become very unstoppable.
I need you to work on yourself. Are you hearing me? Look, you can't change what you can't change. Stop trying to change the situation. It's not yours to change. Stop trying to change your wife. Stop trying to change your husband. Stop trying to change your kid. Stop trying to change your boss. Stop trying to change the program. If you could change it, it would be changed. There's only one person you can change, baby, and that person is you. Work on yourself.
Are your parents alive?
Yeah.
How old are your parents, if you don't mind?
70.
Okay, and where do they live?
In different parts of Washington State.
Okay, did you see them?
Yeah.
Pretty often?
Once to 3 times a year.
Okay, so let's say they live to be 78, which is I hope they don't, but let's say that they live to the average age. So you see them you said once to 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay, no you don't. It means you're gonna see them 16, if you see them twice a year, you're gonna see them 16 more times. When you look at it that way, you're like, what? You don't have 8 years with them. You have 16 times with them. And that's the shift in my life. And that's the way I look at things. That's a fundamental shift in the way that I looked at situations 6 months ago. And it's created urgency, it's created a need to just not put stuff off and to recognize what's on your list of things that you want to do.
So how is turning 50 affecting the way that you think? I'm super curious.
It's just realizing that it went so fast and realizing that there's so much that I want to do and being aware that your 70s are a different decade than your 40s and 50s. Then you have 20 years left. And when you put it in perspective of how many weekends there are, there's only 52 weekends, and you start to look at it like that, you're like, I'm going to be 80 in 30 years. It's scary. I got kids. It's scary because there's a lot I want to do. I feel like I haven't done anything compared to what I want to do and the opportunities. So, it just, how do you manage your time? I never thought like that. I thought I'm going to live forever. And I'm bulletproof and all that stuff, and I'm not. And when you turn 50, shit happens. Friends get sick, take advantage of the opportunity that you have at this age and the people that you know to create amazing, to build your life resume. It's what I talk about all the time. It's like you have the work resume, but so what? That means nothing if you're not building up your life resume. Yeah. There's only 2 kinds of moments, man. The moments that happen 9/11, you knew exactly where, you would never forget that, but you didn't control that. It just happened. There are moments like that where you have no control over, that you just remember because they're so vivid. And then you have the moments that you have control over, that that you circle, that you create, that you put in a position to happen. And that's, kind of how you build this life resume. And that's what that's what I hope my kids do. I hope they have a life filled with memories. I lived on a monastery with 8 monks, 4 of which have been there for 50 years. And I went there for 15 days. I think, the obvious takeaways were just the simplicity of how the monks live is something I think everyone can benefit from. I realized immediately, already what you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss your family and your kids and your friends and some of the comforts. I didn't want to give away some of the comforts that I had, but you also realize that how much, at least I did, in my daily life, how much time I spend and worry I spend on things that are irrelevant. And when I released that, I got so insanely creative and had so much energy, because thoughts, worry, all that, it's exhausting. Well, I think like everybody, I feel overwhelmed a lot still, even though I'm older now and I've had some success and failure, but I still have a lot of arrows that come at me all the time. Requests for my time, challenges at work, challenges raising kids. Being in a marriage, is not easy. I mean, we have a great marriage, but it's not easy. It's work.
Sure.
And it's overwhelming. So for me, I think part of it is always having something big on my calendar that I can look forward to. Every other month, I try to put something on my calendar for a weekend that I can really look forward to. So it helps me get through the tough times. And I like to have at least one really big challenge a year that kind of centers me and keeps me honest. And that's really helpful for me. And then the other thing that I do that really helps is I have a journal, and I just take everything that's on my head and I keep it in a master journal. Doesn't mean I'm gonna get to it, doesn't mean it goes away, but it gets out of my head and it goes somewhere else to free up space in my head. And then I'll just work it off, or I'll prioritize it from the master list. But just the act of taking all the stuff that's in your head, putting it on paper in one place where it lives, is really freeing and energizing.
How do you teach somebody to look for those opportunities, to create those opportunities? Because everyone's going to hear the no, but 99.99999% of people just accept it.
It's always having the end of the movie in my head and then filling in the script. So I knew I was going to leave there with a sale. I just had to write the script, and the script might change. There might be, call an audible and you have to rewrite the script, but the end of the script was always the same. I'm going to run 100 miles. Okay, well, how are you going to do that, Jesse? You're not like a crazy endurance runner. Well, then let's think backwards of how, but it starts with the end scene in the movie, even the exit. Okay, we're going to build this to sell. I don't know who I'm going to sell it to. But that's sort of been always kind of the mentality. And I think the second point to that is once you get over the fear of being embarrassed, no one likes to be embarrassed. But once you get over being scared of being embarrassed, it's super liberating. And it allows you to go into lanes that otherwise you wouldn't go into. And everybody's wired differently. Everybody's wired completely different. It's hard to rewire someone to be, comfortable taking risks, comfortable with being embarrassed. And I think it comes from having a lot of egg on your face and learning along the way. I've always been like, let me get my foot in the door and I will figure it out. I will hire people that can help me figure it out. I can go to experts to help me, but they usually won't help me get in the door. So let me take the first step, and then once you have momentum, you can ride the momentum. So that's always been my MO, It's always been in everything. You mentioned living with the SEAL, when Goggins came, all that stuff. It's just been like welcoming the unknown and being open to whatever comes of it and learning from it. Well, networking's been a big part of my life forever. When I was 24 years old, I wrote 10 letters a day thank you notes to anyone that came into my life that impacted me. And it could be, even if I didn't know you, but I saw your show and I was like, you know what, Tom, you've had some amazing guests I've really benefited from. I would just write you a handwritten note because one, the handwritten note shows intent. You have to buy the envelope, buy the stationery, write the letter, lick the envelope, get the stamp, put it in the mail. That's a lot different than hitting send. It's also memorable. How many handwritten letters have you gotten this year? So I literally wrote 3,000 letters in 1 year. And it could be to a doorman, cab driver, it could be anyone. I would just get their card and I would thank them. That was my form of networking. Even to this day, I have a hot 50 list of 50 people that can help me, that I want to stay in touch with, that I make sure every quarter or so, I send them a note and they always comment on it. You know, like, thank you so much. And it's authentic. I'm not just writing it to write it. I mean, they have to really have had an impact on me, and it's a meaningful note. It makes me feel great, and it makes the recipient feel attached to me in a different way. You know, at an early age, I understood the importance of that. The people that you meet in your 20s rise up in their 30s and are in great positions of power in their 40s. You don't know when you're in your 20s who's gonna make it and who's not. So, you know, you treat everybody properly and respectfully, and you stay in touch. And very often those relationships merge their heads years later, decades later. Pretty much all of us, myself included, we live in a world of routine. Routines are comfortable, but routines can be a rut. And when you're in a routine, the clock goes fast. It goes fast. I was 35 yesterday. Wow. When you're in a routine, get up, get the kids ready, take them to carpool, go work, come out, boom, day over, next day. It's like, and then if you don't get out of the routine and take advantage of those 5 weekends a year, creating whatever, you wake up and you're 60 and 70 or 50 or 40 or whatever, and you're like, man, my knee's messed up. I always wanted to do that, but now I can't do that. Man, you just don't know. I just said to my wife as I turned 50, like, I want to have a big celebration. This is a monumental birthday, and it's really affecting me, how I think, you know? It's like, I didn't think it would, but turning 50 is having a big impact on me. And I said, when I was 25, I had a big party in New York City where I was living, and I want to kind of replicate that. And she said, wow, honey, think about all the things that you've accomplished in the last 25 years. And I'm like, I appreciate it, but compared to, I haven't done anything compared to the potential and what I want to do, you know? And she said, well, then think about the things that you love to do over the last 25 years. What are the things that you love to do? And who have you loved to do them with? And for me, it's been the races, the travel, the this and the that. She said, well, look, put as much of that on your plate as you can with the people that you love to do it with in the next 25 years of your life. And that's sort of my mission statement. We invest so much time in our work resume, which is important, but I think it's equally, if not more important, to build your life resume, because that's really an indication of who you are and what you're becoming. And that's really a true look into your true body of work.
Let's rise, because we all have a choice. We have a choice to live, or we have a choice to live, but walk around as zombies. You see, dreams, they come with nightmares. They come with unforeseen things that we cannot stop or control. The only thing us human beings can control is how we react to every trial and tribulation that comes in our life. We were born to be legendary. We were born to be great. We were born to stand on mountains with giants and show the world our gifts. But some of us, we fall asleep and we stay asleep. We forget why we started this. We forget to ride for our people. I remember days when I couldn't see my children. I remember days when I couldn't feed my children. But I knew this dream was the only way that I'll ever reconnect with them. This dream was the only way I can truly make it. And when I made it, I realized, what do you do when you climb to the top of the mountain and there's nobody else around? The human soul yearns for something bigger. And what I realized is, you gotta find a bigger mountain. You gotta find a bigger mountain to climb. Because life without the climb is worthless. Life without living in the truth and your realness is useless. Not being who you were born to be is useless. But we gotta remember why we started. Remember why we grind. Remember why we go to work every single day. We can't stop now. When I got that phone call on Christmas Day, 11 days before my son was born, that my father has been murdered and left for dead, I was lost. Every piece of motivation I have given to the world feels like it was for nothing. I buried my mother and now my father is murdered, but life asked me a question. He asked me, how will you respond? And I replied, I'm gonna give life everything I got. Because I realized life is only for a moment. And God told me that you're just getting started. You have everything inside of you to become the greatest version that you want to be. You see, this thing we call our dream is one of the hardest things to obtain because we're chasing it every single day, even waking up knowing that some days we might not even be paid for it. But the question is, what are you gonna do when it's game time? Yeah, life done knocked you down. Life done beat you up, but what are you gonna do when it's time to get back up? You see, in boxing, ladies and gentlemen, they'll count to 10. They give you 10 seconds to raise up on your feet and show that you still got what it takes to continue to fight. And that's just like a dream. Most successful people, it took 10 years to get to where they wanted to go. This life will eat you up if you don't continue to fight for what you believe in. This life is the only one that we have. So what are we gonna do to make it our best? What are we gonna do to show the world that greatness can come from anywhere? We just gotta cultivate it. We gotta nourish it. We gotta be proud of where we come from. So when we make it, we can come back and help the people at the bottom. But what I didn't know in the journey is, the higher you go, the bigger the giants become. You see, once you become a giant, the only thing that person sees is a giant. And when that giant is looking in the mirror, he has a choice to look down, or he has a choice to be selfish and keep that gigantic gift to themselves. But the great ones, they make it their duty to get up and fight and teach other individuals the power of life, the power of truth, the power of becoming legendary. We, as human beings, have this unique power in all of us. But some of us just die, and the only thing remembers is the dirt that covers us. What is it to decay while you're still living? What is it to be put in a box and buried while you're still living? Stand up and go get what belongs to you, which is your life, which is your legacy, which is the name that people will remember forever if you just sign that $1 million check. Every single human being on this earth is a walking $1 million check. But you haven't signed your signature. You must burn the shits of the past. We burn the ships of the past to focus on the things that we were born to do. Because pain will keep us in a paralyzed state until we say no more. Today I'm talking about a choice. A choice to love better, be a better father, be a better mother, be a better grandfather, grandmother, be better. It's a choice that we all get to have every single day we wake up out the bed. I don't know about you, but I know until the day that I die, it's the day that they put my body in the dirt and God calls me home. I'm going to focus on the people. I'm going to focus on the people who's setting up in those villages with no mother, no father, those kids with no food, no clothes. I'm going to do it for you because I was a child that woke up early on summer days and walked through those projects, looking to the sky to see a piece of something that I can believe in. Because I have to tell you, you are royalty, kings and queens. You are legends. And what I tell you today is, we were born to be great.
You know, I thought if you were a good person and you do right by people, that people will take your kindness and give you kindness back. But what I realize is sometimes in this world, the kinder you are, the more they try to play you like a fool. I was delusional. I'm nice to you, you nice to me. Don't always work like that. Sometimes it's nice to me and I take advantage of you. So some of y'all, you delusional. I just need you to do me a favor. When you are delusional, you can never get the outcomes you want because the premise in which you're operating from is a lie. So you got to work from truth. And some of us don't want to deal with truth because it's so difficult. E.T., you dropped out of school. E.T., you grew up in a certain community. In order for you to be able to do what you need to do like a Tony Robbins, there's some things that you don't have in your arsenal that if you can just admit you don't have it in your arsenal, then you can go get it. But until you admit that you don't have it, you'll never be able to do it. I need you to do me a huge favor. I just need you to be real. And the reason why a lot of y'all don't want to be real, because some of you would rather be in a lie and at least have a lie than not have anything at all. You already know that job, your boss ain't about to cash you out. You're just scared to quit and start your own business because you don't know if you're going to do well with it. You know you shouldn't. Come on, be honest. You know you still shouldn't be at that job right now. Let me see your hand. Let's just be real. Let me see your hand. You know you shouldn't still. Raise it high. Don't play with me. Raise it high. You still shouldn't be at that job, but you're delusional. That one day is going to be your day. That one day you're going to merge your job and your calling together. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to just leave.
He gave me permission to say I am brilliant. I might be different, but I am brilliant. Yep, I might be loud, but I am special. He gave me permission. And so the first thing I want you to do today is I want you to keep saying to yourself, I am, I am, I am, I am. And for those of you who hadn't quite started yet, I am. And for those of you who've gotten started, I am. Why? Because I can't believe that I started with a GED and that GED turned into a 4-year degree. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I am great. Listen to me. And I don't owe anybody an apology. I am phenomenal, and I don't owe anybody an apology. I am going to do great things, and I don't owe anybody an apology. I am. I was created to be great. I was created to do great things. I was created to have great things, and I will no longer ask others for their permission.
That Eric Thomas that grew up in Detroit and had like that Detroit mentality, while I love it, it doesn't transfer to every community. I had to let the dream destroy you. Let it strip you.
Let it remake and mold you. Don't be afraid. Some of you are afraid. Listen to me. Wherever you from, if that's where you from, if you leave, you can always come back. I promise you. I promise you, when you come back, you can get right back in the conversation. Ain't nothing gonna change. I promise you, whatever world you're from, if you go to other worlds, you can always go back to that world. The version of you that you are right now is a blessing, but it won't take you to the next level. What got you here won't take you there. So let the dream destroy you, tear you down, redefine you, build you back up, make you stronger. The first version of Eric Thomas, the high school dropout, that guy would have never been able to stand here and help you. I had to destroy that Eric Thomas. No matter who you are, if you're average or if you're good, when you get around greatness and you stay around greatness, you start listening to great podcasts and reading great books, and you start hanging around great people, and you start becoming a part of great masterminds. God, you just evolve. And I don't know what happened, but every year I went from a high school dropout and homeless to I started to becoming every single day more of who I am. And I can't believe it. My next goal is to win the Nobel Prize. Why? I had to come up with something. I am giving you permission to be great. I'm giving you permission to be everything you were called to be, to do everything that you're capable of doing, to have everything you're supposed to have. Listen to me, you have to be careful when you hang around average people. All they're going to do is tell you what they can't do, and that's okay that they can't do it, but that has absolutely nothing to do with us. We can go from being homeless and high school dropouts to having PhDs, writing books, and becoming the voice of a generation. We can do whatever we believe we can do, and we don't need anybody's permission to do it but ours. You are brilliant. You are special. Yes, you're different, and yes, you're not doing it the traditional route, but greatness is upon you. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And the 12 years to get the 4-year degree turned into a master's degree. And the master's degree turned into a PhD. God, I can't believe it. I went from being a high school dropout, from being homeless, living in abandoned buildings, to eating out of trash cans, to Dr. Eric Thomas, to writing 6 books. God, are you hearing what I'm saying? Today, stop playing small and start playing big, because I am. All right, let's stop on 3. 1, 2, 3. I am. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I am. I am. Listen to me. I was literally homeless. I was coming to church, not really taking showers. I wasn't brushing my teeth. And this guy looked at me and said, you need to get your GED. You need to leave Detroit. I'm going to send you to college because greatness is upon you. I was 16, 17 years old. I had never spoken a day in my life, and this guy saw it. Like, he saw something in me that I didn't see, and he gave me permission to be where other people said I couldn't be. He gave me permission to believe I was great. He gave me permission to think I could change the world. He gave me permission to start something that had never started in my family before. He gave me permission to say, I am. Listen to me very closely. When you graduate and you get a job, if you want to get paid, you never say no. You never say it can't get done. Don't you ever say out your mouth it can't get done. Even if you feel in your heart it can't get done, you don't say it out loud. You let the broke folks say that. You let the folks they firing first say that. You always say it can get done. Even if you don't think it can get done, just say it and try to make up something. I'm being real. I'm being real. I don't deal with people who say, or they get paid real low in my company. They like maintenance when you say, I don't know how, or I don't think it can be done. I'm like, okay, cool. You won't be like at the end of the year when bonuses getting passed out, you won't be getting no bonus. What I need you to do is I need you to kill the noise. I need you to embrace the I am. And however you get it done, I need you to get it done.
I know that there were times that you wanted to give up. Times that you wanted to throw in the towel and quit. times when life was so hard and it just seemed like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. There was a time in my life I didn't know what direction I would go. Believe me, that pain, that hurt, we all got to face it sometimes. It's only gonna get tougher from here. But you know you are made tougher. Tougher than any other obstacle that comes your way. You didn't give up. You kept going. You pushed through. You kept your head held high. Every single moment that you have is an opportunity of a lifetime. The only thing you need to do is pick up your feet. With every step, you need to decide to take another one. Walking through anything that comes your way. Every day when you get out of your bed, you got to start your day. You got to have the ability to rise up, to get up and move forward. When you walk out that door and you go about your day, no one understands what's coming, but you must continue to rise. For each day that is given to you is that chance, it's that opportunity that you must hold on to. You're gonna have those losses. You're gonna have to fall back a few times, but you gotta keep going forward. When the wind is pushing you back, you gotta push through it. You can never quit. Not everyone needs to understand your purpose. Not everyone needs to understand your mission. But the truth is, it's about passion. It's about discipline. It's about awareness. It's about accountability. You should know that being uncomfortable is not the end for you. It is a wake-up call that you have been comfortable for far too long. People think if they're in a comfortable state that everything is okay. But it's not okay. Because when chaos shows up, you got to have the ability to push through it, to fight through it. Why were you at the gym so many hours? Because you were trying to get it. Why did you turn down those parties and those drinks and those drugs? Because you were trying to get it. Now it's time to grind. Now it's time to fight. Now it's time to believe. Now it's time to know that your success story has yet to be told. It ain't gonna happen by itself. It's not gonna change by itself. You got to be prepared to put in the work to get to that next level and go beyond. You rise up from negativity. You rise up from fear. You rise up from doubt. You rise up from weakness. You rise up from the excuses. You tell the world that you got work to do. So you gotta stay dedicated. You got to keep on pushing forward. You got to keep on fighting the good fight. You got to put aside the excuses, because excuses won't lift you up. Excuses won't give you the power that you truly need. Don't sit back and have a pity party. Don't sit back and wait for an opportunity to happen. It is up to you to go out there and get the opportunities. You want success? Then go get it. You want to be better? Then be better. You want something more than what you have right now? Then you got to have the desire within your heart and go strong and go with everything you have. I'm ready to wake up each morning knowing that every day is a new adventure. This is what it's all about. The future, the now. My mind is clear. You have to wake up from the lazy mentality. You got to get past this mindset of thinking that everything is supposed to be easy. Believe me when I tell you, I know what it feels like to be uncomfortable. But I'm not the only one that had to suffer through something. I'm not the only one in the world that had to go through some kind of agony, some kind of loss, some kind of setback. But I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I had to realize that I need to be uncomfortable. I didn't say that, hey, why am I doing this and why is this happening to me? What did I do? I didn't say that to myself. So today, you rise. When they put you down, you rise. When emptiness starts to come inside of your heart, you rise. When you start to feel that no one cares about you, you rise. When everyone thinks that you are less of yourself, I'm here to remind you right now that you have everything you need to rise. You know that good things don't come easy, but you are ready to embrace the hardship. This is my life. You are stronger now than ever before. The time that you have right now is to make a difference. Make it possible. Through the good and the bad, make it possible. Do better. Be better. Keep moving. Never quit. Be productive. Be strong. Be powerful. And from the bottom of my heart, rise up and conduct your business.
If you don't have self-confidence, here's what you have. You have a really bad reputation with yourself. You have built a habit of not keeping the promises you make to yourself. We've all heard this before. You need to believe and know that you're one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one book, one thought, one something away from a completely different life. Here's how I built what I would call almost superhuman confidence in spite of my insecurity. Think about that. Superhuman confidence in spite of my insecurity. It's an effort play. If you don't have self-confidence, you've never kept the promises you make to yourself. Check that box. If you have self-confidence, you've started to keep the promises you make to yourself. If you want to have superhuman self-confidence, you keep the promises you make to yourself and one more. So if I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out, I'm going to do 10 reps in the gym, I do one more. If I'm going to do 45 minutes on the treadmill, I do one more. If I want to make 10 contacts in a day, I do that and one more. If I'm going to tell my daughter I love her every day, I'm going to do that and one more. Because in life, we don't get our goals, we get our standards long term. And so if your standard is one more, what starts to happen is you go, I'm willing to do things other people aren't willing to do. And I combine that I have great faith, great associations, and I intend to help people. This is a formula to build wonderful self-confidence and never lack humility when you have it. Never link your confidence to your ability. If it's predicated on your abilities or your achievements, you're always going to be chasing it. But if you link your confidence to your intentions, man, you have beautiful intentions. And that is something I knew about me. I know I have a good heart.
And all of us, we run around carrying these bags of, I'm not qualified because I made this mistake. I had this bankruptcy. This relationship didn't work. I did this thing you don't know about. I'm so ashamed of.
That's why you're qualified.
That's the thing that qualifies you.
Yeah.
The humanness in you. You are the only human being with your combination of gifts that you were given, whatever they are, and your experience. And real human beings help real human beings by being vulnerable and transparent, saying, I know where you are. I've messed up worse. I've made greater mistakes. I felt more. I know that depression. I know that anxiety. I know that shame. I know what that feels like.
You're one away, one relationship, one meeting, one person, one thought away from changing your life.
So how do we let go of the past?
Well, we have to create a compelling future. In other words, you're not going to let go of one thing until you've grabbed onto the next.
So you have to create a new future.
You have to create a future in it. And by the way, it's okay that you don't believe all of it initially, as long as it becomes repetitive and we begin to take steps towards it, right? So for me, I still have stuff from my past. There's still a little part of me that doesn't want to be broke. There's still a little bit of fear.
But you're not broke.
Yeah, but you've interviewed some of the most successful actors and entertainers, so have I. And you get them privately, and sometimes on your show they go, you afraid it's going to go away? They go, yeah, I am. That's why I work so hard. So there's an element of that that's okay. It's creating this vision for your life that's compelling. Can you survive the temporary? And if you can survive the temporary, it says on the other side of temporary pain, you get introduced to your other self. And that other self produces that other life. And so here's what happens for most of us. We think everything's permanent. And because we think it's permanent, we make permanent decisions based on temporary conditions. Even our bodies, other than our souls, are temporary. But if your body isn't permanent, your problem isn't, your pain isn't, you need to create a different relationship with pain in your life. For most people, their relationship with the pain and the inconvenience is to avoid it.
Avoid as
so
much
if you
as
could
possible.
but if you could say to yourself, on the other side of this is this other self. The hardest working you've ever been, the most crazy focused you've ever been, was the happiest you've ever been in your life. And the truth of the matter is that most of you don't understand the effort, the time, the focus, the obsessiveness that's required to do something great with your life. But you have to get great, and you have to be intentional. You have to be obsessive.
Yeah.
I know what you put into this. I know what the time is. I know what the relentless pace is. I know what the focus is. I know what you think about. I know this has to be something that's just infectious, and when people get around you, that emanates, and there's an energy, and there's like, this person's just going to will this to happen.
Right.
I think just most people dramatically underestimate the amount of obsessive, crazy, relentless focus it takes to be great at something.
Yes.
And then they go, well, I don't want to be that out of balance or control. Then you don't want to be great. My default personality is insecure.
Even today?
Even today.
Come on.
Very much.
Really?
Very much.
How is that default? You wake up and you say, I'm a nobody, or what? What's the
I
story?
lack this, I'm fooling everybody.
Really?
If they really knew, I've always tried to disqualify myself. I was bullied as a kid. My dad was an alcoholic. I wasn't a real big guy. I disqualify myself because, the truth is that maybe for a while, everything that I got that was love when I was a child only came when I achieved something. I wasn't good in school. The only thing I was good at was sports. So my default is tons of insecurity. I love to beat myself up with mistakes I've made. I did this, I did that. I should have done this, I didn't do that. And I've always thought these mistakes, these weaknesses of mine, disqualify me from being happy or helping people. The confidence part is the thing I'm always going to have to work on.
Even today, even with all the success and the massive show and the big businesses and all the homes and everything that people see.
Yeah.
What else do you need though to feel more confident?
I don't need other things. It's an internal game. The stuff is really fleeting and temporary. So it's not stuff. What needs to happen for me is that I'm most confident when I'm living in my intention, which is to serve. Like, that's a beautiful expression of a man. A real man is capable of real love. Yeah. That's a sign of real strength. And what we do is we gravitate towards the familiar emotions in our life, even if they're not ones that serve us. And I don't think there's negative or positive emotions. I say this in the book. There just are.
Yes.
Fear isn't negative. Fear in abundance is negative. Some frustration, some anger is appropriate. It's to the dosage level.
And we get these 4 or 5 of them. For me, some chaos is okay. It's fun. It's exciting. It's exhilarating, right? But getting it every day, every week, every month, all the time, chaos is my gateway emotion to the ones I don't want. Chaos gives me stress. Chaos gives me anger. Chaos gives me frustration. Chaos gives me fear. I used to think, well, that's a superpower though, because I've created all these external.
Look what I made.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it because of that. The truth is I did it in spite of it.
You did.
And there's a lot of things in our lives that we have linked to our formula, our recipe of success that we hold on to, that you've done in spite of those things, not because of those things. But my dad knew I was a dreamer. And my dad would always say, you know, I was one decision away from changing my life the whole time. One choice. And he'd say, Eddie, you're not as far away from these dreams as you think you are. And I'd say, really, Dad? And he'd go, no, you're actually a lot closer than you think. But because you think it's so far away, you behave in accordance with that belief system, and it always keeps it that far away from you. If the things most important to you are your worries, fears, anxieties, problems, bills, you will continue to have people, places, and things revealed to you that confirm it. My definition of greatness is that you create a life that matches your vision for your life, and that's greatness, no matter what that looks like for you.